You make the best fart sounds.
Thank you. You should hear the ones from my butt.
Oh my God. Oh. This is Ivy.
And this is Gidget.
And you're listening to Slut Shame This. Hi. Long time no see.
I know. Back in the swing of things. Here we are.
How has your October been? Have you done anything spooky?
Not yet. I really want to go to a few spookticles, but I haven't attended any yet because everything's been so crazy just catching up. I eventually finally saw the Joker. Or Joker. Sorry, Joker.
What did you think?
I thought it was relatively benign. I thought Joaquin Phoenix was great in it. But it didn't... I wasn't, like, blown away by the movie.
Right.
But I also didn't find it, like, super problematic. It was just a comic book movie.
Same.
You know.
I didn't find it problematic at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like a tale as old as time. It's like... so many serial killers are narcissists that feel sorry for themselves. I don't know why it's such a problem to show that that's the type of person that it is. And
it's the whole incel thing.
Yeah.
And
I get it, but at the end of the day, Joker is still a bad guy and he still did bad things. And I don't think, if you want to glorify it, then that's on you. But I didn't find it problematic either.
Yeah,
and I thought Joaquin's performance was beyond. Like it was just fun to just watch him flex on this role.
He was great. Yeah, he's awesome. I read something funny today about Jared Leto, like tried everything in his power to get the movie not to be made because he was so pissed that they went ahead with, or Warner Brothers was going ahead with, a Joker movie starring Joaquin Phoenix when Jared Leto wanted a standalone Joker movie
about
after Suicide.
The grill Joker.
The worst garbage ever. And Jared Leto is just a nightmare, apparently. Anyway, so. But it was funny that apparently he did everything in his power, like, to get that movie to stop being made. But so instead, probably his time as the Joker has come to its end. But one thing, I'm not like a comic book nerd, but I'm someone who watches movies. And so, no spoilers here, but is the Joker supposed to be 40 years older than Batman now?
Right.
Because in the movie, Batman is in it as a kid, and Joaquin Phoenix is in like his late 40s.
It's hard to say.
Deep in his 40s. So it's like, what is happening here? That was the one thing I was kind of like, I don't need perfect continuity and things, but
it's kind of felt, because Jack Nicholson was older when he was a Joker.
But
then Heath Ledger was like a baby, so
and he was maybe like 15 years older than Michael Keaton or Jack Nicholson was. He wasn't, great uncle.
He wasn't,
his grandpa in it, but I don't know. And we're getting another Batman movie.
We are?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
my eyebrows just went up. I loved him in Good Time. I love that movie so much.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see. All I can talk about is how excited I am for Uncut Gems. Yeah.
So I've been following Julia Fox for years.
Yeah.
Because I just came across her Instagram and she was like a hot art girl, New York.
In New York,
I don't know what she did. It was all very vague. She looked like she might have been a stripper from what I could see, but I also know that stripper culture is like popular on Tumblr. So if I see a girl in stripper,
she was doing like, when I lived in New York, she was good friends with my ex-boyfriend who I was just talking about. But she did like photography and stuff. But I think she like left to go do like photography of sex workers kind of in different places. But I don't know if she's a sex worker or, I mean...
Yeah. I don't know.
If I knew who she was, I wouldn't out her as one.
No, so. Same. I just meant that like she was just like this ambiguous hot girl that I was following that I thought seemed cool. I had no idea was an actress or anything like that. And then all of a sudden her feed is like completely different, like promoting this movie. And I was like, wait, Julia Fox is an actress? And so now I'm really excited because I've always been like just an Instagram fangirl of her just being a hot, cool artist. So I'm excited to see her act in this.
Yeah. Well. I wonder if because I know that she's friends with the Safdie brothers who did Good Time and did Uncut Gems. So I wonder if she'll continue acting.
Or if this was just like a project she wanted to work on.
But I'm excited to see it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
Good Time was brilliant. And
it was so good. And Robert
was
Pattinson. Amazing. Yeah, I really like him. But I don't think we need another Batman movie, certainly.
Right.
Every 2 years. No. Every year.
Yeah, not necessarily. Actually, watching Joker made me want to go back and watch the Dark Knight series. Yeah. Actually, I've been like kind of craving to watch Heath as the Joker.
So good.
Those movies like gave me the chills when I first saw them. They were so incredible.
Yeah.
Well, we should do horror nights because I just did Knots.
I love horror nights.
It was so fun.
Yeah, I love horror nights. I would love to go. Yeah, I needed to get a couple spookticles in there.
We should be Jennifer's body. I actually have the funniest idea for like a group Halloween costume. Singers of new metal bands. So, like, we get a Kid Rock, we get a Fred Durst, we get a Jonathan Davis.
That would be wonderful. Yeah, I call it Kid Rock.
Everyone called Kid Rock. I want to be Fred Durst just because I want to be the worst. No, just kidding. Fred Durst created rap rock. He's a genius.
Fred Durst is way better than Kid Rock. Kid Rock fucking sucks. He's like a racist, he grew up the richest person in the suburbs of Detroit.
Really?
Yeah, and he acts like he's some redneck motherfucker, like appropriating, black culture and then being a racist piece of shit and then acting like he's a redneck. Meanwhile,
that's how you really feel.
You should see his house that he grew up in. It's like outside of Detroit. I mean, he's like an heir to...
Really?
Yeah.
Bitch, I've been fooled. At least by that. I mean, I know all the other crap about him, but I did think he was like an actual redneck.
No, he's from,
classic rich kid with like fantasies of being poor.
Super upper
strange
class, guy from the suburbs of Detroit, which are some of the wealthiest suburbs. Just really interesting.
So today we're going to be talking about fetishes. I'm minorly experienced in them, but I'm super fascinated by them, and I'm excited to kind of cast a broad net and just kind of look into it. Do you have any experience with fetishes?
No, I'm interested in learning. I find it so interesting from like a human psychology and sexuality perspective. So not being experts or people like fetishists particularly, like we're kind of just doing a tour of...
it's like
a tour de fetishes.
Yeah, it's just like a sampler, and like when you go to the ice cream shop and you just kind of want to taste everything, but you don't really dive all the way in.
So like a little overview, and then in the future we'll do episodes where we deep dive on particular fetishes and then have guests on who are experts.
Yes, we would love that. So if you're listening now, even and we've already got your gears grinding and you want to hear about a very particular fetish, or you think that you have something to contribute about a certain fetish, holler, because we are fascinated.
So what is a fetish? I know like certain things are like a shoe fetish or whatever, but I don't really know like what actually a fetish is.
So I looked up the definition of a fetish, and it's a form of sexual desire in which gratification linked to an abnormal degree to a particular object, item of clothing, part of body, etc. So it seems like a fetish is when your sexual gratification kind of depends upon this particular thing. And that can be a part of the body, a piece of clothing, or an inanimate object. It is not limited to a person's body. That's the definition I found. I also know that like kink gets associated with fetish. I don't know if there's like a hard difference. And again, if we are incorrect about this, feel free to let us know. But did you find anything on what a kink is?
Yeah, some say that like a kink is more just any non-conventional sexual practice. So just something like you're into or trying.
Right. So I think that fetishes and kinks can be interchangeable, but I think the difference is that a fetish, that particular thing is almost required for sexual gratification, where kink is like, I'm going to do this because I want to, but I can also not have this and still be sexually gratified.
Yeah, so this says some draw a psychological distinction between fetishes and kinks, in that kinks enhance partner intimacy, and that it's something that you do with someone to like bring you closer together, whereas fetishes replace intimacy. So that's kind of the thing that you are intimate with. It is that object or that part of the body or that piece of clothing or whatever. I think.
So it's like if you have a fetish for rubber, you're not like focusing on the partner wearing the rubber. It's almost like the rubber on the person.
Whereas like a kink would be like,
you look so hot in that rubber.
Yeah, and like it just makes your body super tight and you know, your ass looks great or whatever. But I think for the purposes, since not everyone adopts that distinction for the purposes of this episode, we will probably use the words interchangeably. And again, we're not experts in it, so don't be mad at me.
Yes, it's just
I'm sensitive.
Yes. So this is just some information that I pieced together based off just some research on a few different websites that we will link in the show notes. There's just a little brief history. The word fetish was first coined by the French psychologist Alfred Binet, who was known for inventing the earliest IQ tests. Fetishes rarely develop into an offense that harms anyone. So I feel like fetishes historically aren't known for being problematic, but they can be. And in that case, they become a paraphilia.
Yeah. Fetishes are no harm, no foul, because if it's a fetish, it's in essence not harmful.
Yes. Once we get into the philias,
then it is harmful.
Yeah. But so many fetishes are like the same as a philia, but the philia is basically saying that it has thus become problematic.
Exactly. But we don't think fetishes are problematic, and they're not.
Yeah. We do not. However, I feel like there is sometimes like that question, like, was a fetish like a weird, bad, creepy thing? And it's like, no.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, the definition of fetish is that, you know, it's non-conventional. It deviates from the normative in some way, but that doesn't mean it's negative.
And it's also highly specific. I feel like fetishist is very specific to their thing, where I think like the kink again is more like allowing for like a more broad spectrum. Like say a fetishist really likes feet. Yeah. He's a foot fetishist. He might be like, I need to see your soles. Like I need to just like, where someone who is like, oh, feet are my kink. They don't really, they're more like, yeah, I want to suck on some toes.
Yeah. Or like me, who I'd say I'm like kinky. Like I'm open to trying different things, and that excites me sexually too. So also that is about, you know, the act of doing something non-conventional, you know, and it doesn't matter exactly what it is. It's just like to mix it up, to do something a little kinky and different.
Sexual fetishes also involve like a kind of an enhancement to a sexual act. So say you are a fetishist of, again, I always go back to feet because it's like the only one I kind of know about, but it's like they like to enhance that thing. So they like to see it in heels or a particular type of shoe. It gets very specific, but I guess fetishes are often, they like to be enhanced. So if you have a fishnet fetish, it's like you don't just want to see the fishnets, you want to see them enhanced by like a nice butt or pair of legs. But at the end of the day, you're focusing on the fishnets. Yeah. Which is interesting. Yeah. So it's like you want to see the fishnets on the butt, not the butt in the fishnets.
Exactly. And some people don't like honor that distinction, or, you know,
yes.
I think most people don't, but if there is a distinction between fetish or kink, that's it.
And then a review of 48 cases of fetishism. The most popular were clothing at 58.3%, rubber and rubber items at 22.9%, footwear at 14.6%, body parts at 14.6%, and leather at 10.4%, and soft material and fabrics at 6.3%.
I find that surprising, but interesting.
Yeah, this is just one review, so who knows? But I feel like when I think of fetishes, what are some things that come to mind? Like,
yeah, let's talk about some of the most, you know, popular or common fetish and kinks. Like, I would say I think of BDSM as like a classic example of a fetish or a kink. So BDSM stands for bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, and then sadism and masochism.
And like that also can involve role playing, like humiliation play. Like there's a lot that falls under the BDSM kink. Like you can get flogged, you can get whipped, you can get your pussy lips clamped, you can get your nipples clamped, you can, you know, it also depends on if you have the fetish of being a sub or a dom. Yeah,
so they're kind of like two distinct, the bondage fetish and then the dom sub fetish, which are grouped together in this BDSM category, but they're kind of different things in that there's the dominant and submissive fetish where it's about power exchange, someone being dominant and that person likes to be in charge and more physical, and it can involve just like choking or what, you know.
Right.
And then a submissive partner enjoys being dominated.
Yeah. And again, it's ultimately just a power play, which can literally involve anything from you getting, you're submissive and your dom tells you to, you know, eat something off the floor. Even that, it's like that, it's just more of the power dynamic. So it's not even limited to sexual exchanges, but there is that underlying sexual gratification within it. So
that either from dominating someone and telling someone what to do, that arouses you, or from being told what to do and you're a submissive and that arouses you.
Yeah, and it's also like, I think it's such a powerful mental play because sometimes the act is not what turns you on. It's the act of submission or the act of domination.
Yeah. So it's like the you're deriving sexual pleasure from receiving it if you're a sub, or from inflicting it if you're a dom.
Do you if you dive into BDSM, do you have a side that you lean towards? More submissive or
what do you
dominant?
Think?
Dominant.
No, I'm submissive.
What? You're such a dom.
No. I'm so submissive. And I also think it's because, like, I'm really assertive in my life, whether it's at school or work or, you know, in relationship. I have a very strong personality. I like losing power to someone, and that makes me feel like, because that's a real sense of feeling close and, you know, that you just put yourself in someone else's hands, and that turns me on. So I think definitely more of a sub.
I'm a switch because I think I prefer to be submissive with men, but with women I can do both.
Yeah.
And I get equal gratification out of both, but with men I definitely I love that like tuning out kind of thing, like when I'm being dominated. And I've, you know, been in like actual, you know, I've been dominated by doms in like a dungeon before, and it's really, I feel like it's therapy. Like you just like zone out and you don't think about anything, and it's like kind of like just takes you to this new little headspace. It's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What are some other fetishes?
Well, I think like you were saying that in sort of that power interplay, you know, BDSM thing, that there's some subcategories, like you were saying, humiliation.
Yeah, I think that's a big fetish.
Where people like to either be humiliated or humiliate. And what is that like? I feel like there's a big range of...
Yeah, it can be anywhere from like verbal humiliation. So, you know, either whatever. I'm just going to talk from like a submissive. So I like someone to talk down to me. And it can be, and then it can get really specific. Like, what kind of talking down to do I want?
Yeah.
Do I want them to tell me I'm a failure at life and that I suck at my job? Or I just want them to tell me, like, I look ugly or I'm a bad girl? And it can be...
Yeah. It can be like, you're such a slut, aren't you?
Yeah. Or it can be like, you're...
you're ugly. You're a mistake.
I've had people say crazy. I like verbal humiliation.
Oh, really?
In very specific scenarios.
I'd cry.
I'm like, I kind of challenge people. I'm like, try to break me. They don't. I never have actually like cried, but it's fun to almost.
I guess I feel like that must be one of the fun things about what you do, because you can try something and have it not feel emotional. That I don't know how I would ever try verbal humiliation with a partner who I'm like intimate with and not feel
personally attacked.
Like so, but even if you're saying it, you don't mean it, but you thought of it,
right?
So you're like, you know,
that's why I think a lot of people like to hire doms for this kind of stuff, because you have this desire, but you don't want your partner to do it. You kind of want a professional that knows exactly how to punish you in a way that is not, you're not going to take it home with you. It's like in that moment.
Yeah, because I don't think I could handle that from like my partner. I'm a feminist, you know, I'm an independent woman, but I love being told like that you own my pussy and it's your pussy. And, you know, like totally. I like feeling like objectified and like property in that way. Sometimes,
I think objectification is like a fetish in itself.
And that also is like folding into that submissive, you know?
Yeah, that's what that whole movie Consent was about, was how you can be a feminist and still really want to have crazy, submissive, wild, dirty sex. But it doesn't change the fact that like you're still a person outside of it.
Totally.
And it's not mutually exclusive.
But there's like other types of humiliation that are...
Tell me.
That I've seen that are like the food humiliation that some people like. It's a fetish for them to force feed someone. Have you seen this?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
I didn't mean I've seen it. Like
yeah, there's cash pigs, where basically a dom humiliates you and makes you go to the bank and pull out money and give it to her.
Oh.
Yeah, so and it's...
Where do I get that job?
I know, it's like, that's seriously, if you get a cash pig, it's amazing. People get off on having like their money just humiliated out of them. Like, and we're going to march down to the ATM right now and you're going to fucking pull out $4,000 and you're going to hand it to me because you're a stupid idiot that's going to do what I say. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I think kind of connected to humiliation is cuckolding, right?
Yeah. I was just actually looking at cuckolding. Cuckolding is cool.
Do you want to explain what it is?
There's a definition for cuckolding that's like outside of sexuality, but in sexual experiences, it's kind of like someone who enjoys watching their partner with someone else, but like particularly leaving them out, usually in a humiliating way. So an example would be, a cuckold would be a guy whose wife goes out and brings home another guy and she fucks him in front of her dude, but he's getting off on it, even though she's fucking the other guy and being like, you're pathetic, you know, this cock gets me more wet than you ever could. Like, that's the stuff that they want to hear during a cuckold session. Yeah,
I feel like there's some guys who just want to watch and it turns them on, and some also want that, like, the verbal humiliation.
Yeah, I don't know if just watching is still a cuckold. I don't know like the full definitions, but from what I've experienced or seen, like cuckolding usually involves a little bit of humiliation to the person.
I think the humiliation is watching your partner be with someone else, and then there's like whether you're a cuckold who that just that act. I think that is like the humiliation, and then some people also like that shaming language because
like I've done cuckolding scenes, and it's really common for like while you're fucking the guy to like continuously insult your partner who's watching.
Yeah.
And it's like part of the fetish.
Yeah.
Because I also could see like on a role reversal, like a guy having me fuck someone in front of him, but he's coming from a dominant stance. Like, you go fuck that guy because you're mine and that's my pussy and I want you to fuck this other guy. So like that also.
Sometimes I watch porn like that.
It's so hot.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
But I think that is coming more from, for me, not like a humiliation.
That's like
kink,
just dom sub kind of vibe.
Like an exhibitionist and voyeuristic thing. Because I think that's also, there's like cuckolding where it's the humiliation of your partner having sex with someone else, and then there's like voyeurism too, where it's like it turns you on to watch someone have sex with someone else, and exhibitionism when it turns you on to have people watch you.
Right. So that can even like go into like, if you're an exhibitionist, you could really like enjoy public sex. Like that could be like your thing, is like, what if people see us? Or on the other hand, going to someplace where it's consensual and everyone's involved, like a sex party where you go and have sex with your partner in front of a group of people.
Totally. Or even like, dancing for your partner in like a more, benign way, or not benign, but mild way. Yeah. It's just like it turns you on to have someone watching you be sexual. And I know I like, feeling like someone's watching me, but not to the extent that I'd like want to invite in an audience on any given day. Right.
That's why I think like sometimes like the public sex can be cool in the way like, oh, we're gonna fuck in this bathroom. Like maybe someone's gonna walk in, but they're probably not because the door is locked. But it's like the idea.
Yeah, I like that. I like
really hot.
Where's the weirdest place you've had civilian sex? Meaning,
so sex outside of porn.
Yeah,
I haven't done it in a long time. But me and an ex used to like have sex everywhere we possibly could, and I think we had sex in the Forever 21 changing room. He just like appeared while I was like.
I feel like the changing rooms are a popular place.
Yeah. It's like way more risky than like a bathroom or something.
Totally, yeah. I've had sex in a movie theater.
I was about to ask, what about you?
Yeah, I think that's...
Was it a full movie?
I mean, it was Captain America, Civil War. Like, I'm talking of the most recent time. Mm-hmm. I think I've given head like when I was younger in a movie theater, but I had sex in the, right when... That was a pretty big movie.
Yeah. I don't remember it.
So I obviously didn't pay much attention. I'm not into, my boyfriend at the time asked me to go see a superhero movie with him, and I'm like, okay, bored, 20 minutes, and I'm like, let's fuck.
Amazing.
Another type of dom sub thing maybe would be, I think we could go more into bondage.
Yeah, and bondage is basically just being like restrained.
Yeah, tied up somehow or restrained in some other way.
And that leaves you in like the ultimate vulnerable position because you can't move, and so there's that aspect of it, and
that can be as like mild as using handcuffs or as extreme as like what?
Like being crucified.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It can get really taken there. I've seen some really hardcore stuff that's even like way too hardcore for me, where like a girl was put on this device that kind of spun around like she was like a pig getting roasted, and it was over a fire. But this person who was the dom must have been, like they knew just how hot to get the fire so that it would maybe warm her skin but not actually burn her. And like, but the device was terrifying looking. The whole thing was terrifying. So it can go very extreme bondage, but it also can be a little the necktie tied around the wrists, little 50 shades,
tying you up to the bedpost.
I like somewhere in between that spectrum. I like forced orgasming. That's one of my favorite things to happen during bondage. So being tied up and being helpless, and then it's always a Hitachi. We always come back to it, but they put it on really high, and they go straight on and like really hard, and it's painful.
Yeah,
and it's really painful and you want to squirm away, but you can't. Because you're physically restrained and they're just pushing it into you and you can't do anything and it hurts so bad and then all of a sudden you're having an orgasm. It's like, it's super crazy. So those are fun. And I think that could be a fetish. I mean, once I experienced it, I was like, yeah, I am a fan of this now. Yeah. Also, nylons are a big fetish.
Ooh, like tights?
Yeah. Like pantyhose. Stockings. Yeah. It obviously accompanies a foot fetish, but it is its own particular thing too. And I think it's probably similar like a rubber or latex fetish where it's probably the way that the skin looks concealed. And then the way it feels to touch the skin with the nylons on. And then again, probably like touching the legs and feet with nylons. And then like it gets really specific. Like what kind of nylons do they like? Like do they like a little sheen? Do we like a matte? Do we like some Cuban thigh highs? Do we want to do a fishnet? But and nylons are generally a pretty popular fetish too.
Interesting. I wonder if it's still popular around for people our age because no one wears nylons as much anymore. Whereas I feel like years ago,
I've been asked to do it, so I think it's still a thing. I think it's pretty common that like foot fetishists usually kind of go, because like we were kind of talking about that thing where like they want to see their fetish kind of adorned in things, like in accessories. So it's like they want to see the foot in different, or legs, you know, in different variations. Kind of like if you just generally like the way a woman looks, you probably want to see her in different types of lingerie. Totally. Bikinis. So if you're really a huge fan of feet and legs, it's kind of the same concept. Also, objectum sexuality is an interesting one. And that is being attracted to inanimate objects that aren't like any kind of, like being sexually attracted to like a boat or, you know, the Eiffel Tower or a building, this microphone. I don't know, just that's a kink as well, as being sexually stimulated by an inanimate non-sexual object that you somehow find
like the Beatles, because the world is round, it turns me on.
Sure. But also, it could be a sex toy, too. You could just be really, like that particular one, like just looking at it turns you on, that kind of stuff. Pregnancy fetish is a thing. Yeah. As a nice follow-up from our last episode, which was about birth control, which I actually think is hot. Like, I think that the idea of, like, the pregnancy fetish is extremely hot because it's a fetish. It's not, I don't actually want to get pregnant, but, like the breeding fantasy. So it's like, oh, like you're fucking someone and it's like, breed me. And it's like probably more.
Yeah, I feel like those are probably two separate things. Like the pregnancy fetish, which is like fetishizing pregnant women.
Right.
And then also the like breeding.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just literally like the fetish of either getting someone pregnant or getting pregnant or the process of breeding. Yeah. And it can go to like the extent of bringing in other people to like fuck your
breeding
person.
Parties.
Yeah, it can go that far, or it can just be dirty talk between two people, like, you know, like, make me pregnant, daddy.
Yeah, even the come in me, you know, comes from kind of that vulnerability. Of like, but then there also is a pregnancy fetish where some people are super turned on by someone being pregnant. Yeah. And whether that's like your partner being pregnant, or some people like the idea of having sex with someone who's pregnant by someone else, which is interesting. Totally. I've heard anecdotally a lot of guys who are nervous to have sex when their partners are pregnant. Oh yeah, that some people have that opposite of like, you don't want to be hard or whatever, but which seems sweet. But from my friends, I've also heard you're just so horny when you're pregnant that I'd be like, you're gonna fuck me. It'll be a nightmare.
You know what's also a fetish I've noticed is hentai and like anime fetishes. So people that are really attracted to cartoon characters, specifically like anime style, which is Japanese characters. And hentai is basically like hardcore porn, but cartoons, like Japanese animation cartoons. And that's like a really common one from that, like tentacle porn and tentacle fetishes and stuff like that come out, because like in a lot of the hentai movies, the girls aren't getting fucked by dudes, they're getting fucked by like monsters and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. So like I've noticed that like from that there's a like a dildo company that makes all these monster dildos.
Yeah, you told me about the tentacle.
Yeah, and the tentacle dildo is awesome. But that in itself, it's so funny because there's like fetishes breed other fetishes, so it's like I don't know what came first, the tentacle or the hentai.
Yeah, exactly.
But people like both, often in conjunction, but also
Mix
separately.
and match.
Yeah, hentai is pretty hot. I can't jerk off to it. Like I've tried because when I've gotten aroused by watching it, but then I couldn't get there.
Yeah,
but it is hot because like the girls are just over the top, like huge eyes, ginormous tits, huge asses,
tiny waist,
and they like to all sound like you know?
Yeah, they're so sweet looking.
Yeah, and I think also part of the fetish is that like most of the anime girls seem very like, oh, I don't know if I want this. It's almost like that little, like the virgin whore, like I'm so hesitant to let you fuck me, and then all of a sudden there's like 8 dicks in her.
Yeah,
the virgin whore.
It's like, which goes to another thing, which is role play.
Yes.
Which is an umbrella for different types.
Yeah, role play is cool. Role play, I like role play. I like the idea of it. Fun. Anything from like I feel like when I was in a relationship, sometimes we would do like really silly little things, like pretending we just met. You know, like just
so
like
cute,
so casual. And then there's also like really more involved stuff that you can do where, you know, and even back to anime, like you can do cosplay. Like people can like dress up like their favorite characters from TV or comic books and do that. Or, you know, it can be like a power exchange
thing, schoolgirl, teacher, you know, doctor, you know, work stuff. But some role playing involves costumes, and some of that is like a fetishizing of whether like the cheerleading outfit or something, and it's like about that outfit, or it's about that power dynamic of like you being a student and then being a teacher or whatever. I
actually have a funny role-playing story.
Really?
Yeah, when I was in my early 20s, I was with this guy for a while, and we did a lot of role-playing just in the bedroom, like spontaneously, because he was a lot older than me, so I like to do like stepdaddy stuff with him. And so he was at work, and I wanted to like surprise him with this role play thing. And so I texted him as me and was like, I can't pick you up from work tonight. I'm going to send my friend Melinda to pick you up. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, no, like she'll just like bring you to dinner, whatever. It's fine. She's so nice. And then I went and put on a wig and like did my makeup different and like put on this outfit and went and picked him up from work.
Cute.
And he was like, Melinda. Like he totally immediately like went with it, which was so cute. And we carried out this whole thing, but because I had set it up that like Melinda was my friend, I kept playing into that. I'm like pretending that Melinda was my friend. So I'd be like, oh, don't tell Ivy, but this and that. I've always had a crush on you and whatever. And we, had like some of like the hottest sex ever. And then after, I was mad at him for theoretically cheating on me with Melinda.
I was gonna say, that would be a tightrope with me. I'd be like, wait, pause. So are you saying that because you know it's me?
I know, he was going along with it way too well. And then I was like, fuck Melinda.
Yeah, we burn the wig. Whatever color the wig was, you're not allowed to see any women.
It backfired so hard, in the big picture, but it was really funny. It's always stuck with me. And
that's funny. Yeah, there's a lot of role playing can be super fun. I had a friend who, for some reason, she would only. She didn't even have a brother, but a relationship didn't work out because she had such a fetish for like the brother-sister thing, and he wouldn't do it. He was like, I don't want to do this every time.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, that point when you're listening to a friend tell a story and then you realize like, wait, I don't feel like he's being that ridiculous. Like,
right.
wait,
She's
why
like,
do you...
this fucking guy?
She's like, I liked it. I'm like, but why do you want to do that every time? Maybe we should break that down a little bit.
Right.
I mean, it would have been...
Well, that's the definition of, like, a hard fetish, then, is, like, it has to be that to get off.
I don't know where she is now, but...
I hope she found the perfect guy to be her perfect brother.
Incest is such a big category on porn, which is so interesting.
And it's funny because I didn't know about all that when I was doing the, like, stepdad stuff with my ex. I really didn't. I had never seen porn like that. That was just intuitively something I wanted to do. And by the time I found that porn, I had already exercised that demon and was over it.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I wonder why. That must be a big fetish, like the role playing of
it is.
Incest.
Yeah, incest role play is huge. It's one of the, like, it's kind of becoming less and less a thing because it was such a thing for so long in porn that it's almost like played out. And it's like, so it's kind of shifting now. And I'm sure we'll come back around, but there's so much content right now that, like, it's not going to run out anytime soon of people seeing incest porn. But incest role play is, like, probably the most popular. And then also within role play, there's, like, animal play. People like to pretend that they're animals. It's like puppy play is a really popular part of, like, the fetish and BDSM community. So
that's about, like, the domination, though, or is that about actual dogs?
I think it's about actual domination, but they actually are acting like animals. They're dogs.
But it's like the fact that, like, you're making someone act like an animal. It's not that you're attracted to animal. But I'm asking, is it because the person dominating is attracted to dogs, or is it because they like forcing someone to have to act like dogs?
I think it's just the submission act, but I think that the people acting like the dogs enjoy acting like a dog, but not for sexual attraction to a dog. I think just the idea of what a dog represents. You know, loyalty, submissive, whatever. Yeah. Because I feel like the only BDSM animal play I've seen is, like, horses and dogs.
What's a horse doing?
It's like pony play. So they'll just be dressed up like a pony. And, like, they'll, you know, I guess, get ridden.
But there aren't horses involved.
No. This is role playing.
Okay. I didn't know.
No. It's just, like, people in, like, BDSM gear that looks like a horse.
Oh, okay.
Like a horse mask. And then go into, like, furries and stuff.
So when furries have sex, they keep the costume on?
Yes. I would love to interview someone who is a furry because I really want to, like, understand the sexual attraction and, like,
Me too.
Like, when they first realized that that's what they were into and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's like wearing, like, a big Elmo costume, but then you have a hole and you guys have sex through the hole, but you keep on the costume. And there's straight up, like, furry conventions and stuff. Because I guess it's that popular of a fetish.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is it, like, the outfit that you like? Or is it the animal?
It might be the anonymity.
Oh.
You think, like, those green bodysuits that cover, like, your face and everything. But, like, just, like, having sex with, like, this nameless, faceless kind of anonymous entity is also a thing. So it doesn't have to be specifically a furry, but I don't know. I imagine you can just be whatever inside that costume. You don't have to be yourself. I imagine that's probably freeing in some way, though I don't really know what about the particular costumes is turning people on, because it's clearly specific to,
interesting,
you know, these, like, animal costumes.
So some other fetishes too, like piss play.
Piss play. Water sports. Squirting.
And that's like a dom sub thing, right? Kind of like.
It doesn't have to be, though. Because I feel like, you know, even, like, squirt scenes, say we're not talking about squirt, but, like, I did that in real life, and say that we were just calling it what it is and we were peeing. Like, it could just be, I could see, like, maybe the guy just being into piss and, like, me just doing it for him, but, like, not in a submissive way.
But isn't it kind of submissive being peed on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it stems from kind of like that it's not a disrespectful act or whatever, but something that's kind of transgressive and allowing someone to do it to you is kind of submissive, and peeing on someone's kind of dominant, right?
Yeah, for sure. And then I've also seen stuff of like people pissing into champagne glasses and drinking it and stuff like that. It's like they call it slut champagne.
Oh.
Slut champagne is piss.
Interesting.
That's a really common one. I don't
drinking pee?
Yeah, drinking pee isn't that common, but I think just piss play in general is like a lot more common.
Peeing in the champagne glass and then you shelf it.
You just drink it.
Oh, you drink it.
That's drink it, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I misunderstood. I thought you were asking if drinking piss champagne was like a really common fetish, and I was like,
oh no, I meant like drinking pee, like not just being peed on.
Oh yeah, drinking it. Yeah, that's like part of it. But yeah, like piss play can be like super casual, and then it can also be drinking it from a champagne glass.
Yeah.
I've definitely like hooked up with guys that are into it, but it didn't feel dommy or subby. They were just like pee on me just a little bit. But it was like, I don't know. It was like he was asking me to do it.
Yeah.
So it was almost like I was doing it for him.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't know. It didn't feel like he was like, piss on me because I'm a pathetic cunt. You know, it was just like, I just want your warm pee on me. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I've also liked that too. I like pee.
Like a guy peeing on you or a girl?
Either. Just depends on the moment and who it is. Yeah.
That would be stressful. I'd be like, who's going to clean it? Are we putting a tarp down? Like, what's happening?
I do it in the shower. Every time I've done anything with pee, I've done it in the shower.
Oh, I've been peed on in the shower.
But not with the shower running, you know. So it's like you don't have the barrier for the water to run out.
Oh, okay.
You just do it in the shower because then it's easy to clean up.
Oh, okay. So it's like you have sex, then you're like, go to the shower, pee on me real quick.
Yeah, I've done that a lot.
Oh.
It's kind of fun. I've also had guys pee inside me.
Oh.
It's super hot.
The pee itself is hot.
The act of it is really hot, and
the pee too. Body temperature.
It's really warm, and it's like the sensation of being like completely filled up because there's obviously only so much room, and you feel it like coming out, and it's like just really hot, and also I think it's very like submissive too. The only guy I ever did it with, he's like very dommy, and it's also very hard to do because it's very hard for guys to pee with.
Did you do it in porn or? We
did it off camera because like it was very obviously pee because but it was something that like I knew he could do, so I was like, will you do it? And he did it a couple times, and I loved it.
Interesting.
It's hot. It's obviously not for everyone, which is why it's a fetish. But I'm like, I've always kind of liked the water sportsy. I like a well-hydrated water sports aspect. If we're talking about water sports, people like poo. We won't even dive into that. But
sewer sports.
2 girls, 1 cup.
Oh my God! Remember that?
How could I forget?
See it? I didn't see it.
Unfortunately, I've seen it.
I was too young.
It sticks with you.
Okay, good. I'm glad I never saw it.
Yeah.
I'm pure.
It's a nightmare. It's a pure nightmare.
Was it hot? Did people think it was hot? Because I think it was a little too young for it.
Well, I remember no one thought it was hot. It was like a prank. Like, have you seen 2 girls, 1 cup? And then someone pulls it up, and then you're like, why am I seeing this?
Was it?
Or someone sends you the link, and you click it.
Was it like porn performers?
It looked like that was the case. It didn't look like a homemade movie, right? It looked kind of like there was some production.
Do we have a where are they now?
Oh my God. I don't know who they were then.
Okay, so one of the big fetishes that we haven't talked about yet are foot fetishes.
Yeah, it's one of the most common for sure. I feel like every girl has a guy in her DMs being like, show feet, please.
Yeah.
I appreciate feet. I think they're a really beautiful part of like a woman's body, and I do think that they can be sexy, but I'm not like aroused by them, so I still don't fully understand the fetishes because it's so specific. Like they get extremely turned on by a foot. Like I could just jerk off looking at a foot.
Yeah.
So is there like any information about why like feet are so popular and why they're so sexualized?
Well, Kevin did a little research and he found that there was a study that said one of the reasons it's so popular is that the part of the brain that is connected to like your sexual organs is right near the part of the brain that deals with your feet. So like wires can kind of get crossed in that sense, but that is interesting to me in that it doesn't really explain why someone then would fetishize someone else's feet. Like that seems more, I mean, I guess it depends if you're doing like, if you're talking about like the feeling of, I don't know, that makes sense from like a toe sucking, like if you like someone touching your feet or whatever. But
it's like having your own feet.
Like people have foot massages.
Right.
I don't know.
But then like the thought of like just looking at someone else's foot and masturbating from like the visual of someone else's foot.
Well, what's interesting is one of the reasons that this just popped in my head of fun facts is that like tablecloths existed or were invented in like the Victorian era or whenever because people thought that table legs would turn people on because it was too erotic. Because
legs?
They seemed like a leg.
Wow.
So I wonder if it's like such an intimate or not exposed part of the body.
Right, yeah. It's always kind of hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
That if that's part of it.
Yeah, but it's very common.
And then there's some people who like love feet in heels and some people who
like the nylons we previously mentioned.
Yeah, or whatever. And then there's some people who like dirty feet. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder if those come from different psychological phenomenons. Like one is like it's this hidden part of the body and it's intimate and whatever, and one is maybe more like that it's dirty or that, you know,
right.
Like the Quentin Tarantino foot fetish, which is like he loves like dirty ass feet in all his movies. You know,
the feet. It was like too much and.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, it felt like a joke. I was like...
Well, I think it was, because I think it was him poking fun.
Oh.
It was like a nod to
everyone.
People talking about his foot fetish.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, but there's different types of foot fetishes.
Yeah. And like people get really particular about like what kind of toes they like, what kind of color nail polishes they like on the toes. Arches, soles, heels, like it gets broken down into like the straight up like anatomy of the foot. It's not just as simple as I like feet. It's like, well, I like a foot with a high arch and this kind of sole, and like I only like red nail polish. It gets like very specific.
So I feel like we covered the main fetishes, so maybe we should go into some obscure ones.
Yeah. Okay. What do we got?
I found a list from a book called Perv, The Sexual Deviant in All of Us by Jessie Baring. And these are a bunch of like different fetishes discussed. Actorasty, which is arousal to the sun's rays.
Must be nice.
I wonder if that's like that it turns you on to like have sex in the sun or
if just like the feeling of the sun just getting
turned on.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I find it like
it's nice.
Nice. Autogynephilia, arousal to oneself. This is only for men in the form of a woman. So it's like that you're attracted to the idea of yourself as a woman.
And so like you probably like masturbate to the idea of you being a woman or dress up as a woman and jerk off in the mirror or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, climacophilia, arousal to falling downstairs. What the fuck?
That would get dangerous. This is only because like these are called philias. I know whatever. It's all crisscrossy, but that would be dangerous. Imagine if you like were just trying to get your rocks off all the time by like throwing yourself downstairs.
Yeah, that is not fun. Catopatronophilia, arousal to sex in front of mirrors. I think I like to have sex in front of mirrors, but I feel like that's just arousal.
Yeah.
That would turn anyone, but maybe some people have like a mirror fetish.
Right.
Oh, tickling.
Oh, yeah. Can't relate. I hate being tickled.
Yeah, but that's a pretty popular one.
Yeah, they call them like either you're a tickler or a tickly.
Yeah. Oh, nebulophilia, arousal to fog.
I mean, I love a good foggy goth club.
Maybe that's the same as like the sun. It's like the way it feels on you.
Maybe. It's that soft mist.
Necrophilia, arousal to corpses. That is...
Yeah. I mean, very common in serial killers.
Psychrophilia, arousal to being cold and watching others who are cold.
I just imagine you're like outside and everyone's a little chilly and like someone just gets a boner from it.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, it's so cold out. Like
my nipples get hard, but
like
they're not aroused.
It's like getting off.
Yeah,
us all like, ooh, it's chilly out.
Yeah. This one is teleophilia, and it's arousal to reproductive aged adults. Like, I don't know if that's a fetish.
That just sounds like being attracted to people that you should be attracted to.
Yeah, I think that's biology, because the whole point of sex is reproduction, so being attracted to people who you can reproduce with.
That's what it is.
I mean, not the whole point of sex is reproduction, but from a biological, that's like the brains.
Yeah, very strange.
Vereraphilia, arousal to eating another's body part. I don't know, actually eating it.
So that's like cannibalism, but getting a boner from it, or a lady boner from it.
Yeah. Anastomophilia, arousal to a person of extreme stature, either giant or dwarf.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Cool. I feel like anything could be a fetish at the end of the day. It gets really, really specific and down to the wire with all of this stuff.
The xylophilia is arousal to wood.
Hey.
Wood.
I know.
Cedar.
Yeah. See, a nice pine or oak or mahogany. I wonder if you have a specific wood you like.
I'm sure. Because when a fetish is that specific, I feel like it just keeps like,
oh, what is this wood? Tell me more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting.
Well, we just did all this research and kind of gathered this information, but we want to definitely hear from people that have some more hands-on experience or, have participated in particular fetishes or have fetishes. We want to get inside your head. So if you want to share, or if you have any particular fetish that you're fascinated by, let us know, and we can do a deep dive on certain ones and hopefully have a guest on that knows more about the subject.
Exactly. Yeah, and we'll definitely have someone on about BDSM and things like that. Mm-hmm. But specifically, if there's other things you guys want us to talk about, hit us up.
I want a furry.
I would love a furry.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Furries, awesome. Calling all furries.
Yeah, set up, if you don't want to identify yourself, set up an anonymous email and email us at slutshameless@gmail.com.
Yeah, and we can just even have a conversation via email, and we can talk about it.
Or send us a voice note.
Yeah. And speaking of sending us stuff, is it time for our DMs?
I think it is, madame. It's time for our DM of the week.
Oh my God. DMs of the week. Okay, so this week's DM is a submission from one of our listeners.
Submission, pun intended.
Hey!
Nailed it.
So this is a DM that she got, and it says, "Hello, how are you? I really enjoyed your photos. Could you send me photos of your armpits or authorize that I post any on the page? And that's it.
Wow. So that's an armpit fetishist.
Apparently. And I like that it's like, or authorize that I post any on the page. Like, she has armpit photos available already.
I mean, it seems like it won't be hard. You can just, like, screenshot
right, and
one
like,
of your scenes when your arm's up.
She's not a porn person. Oh, you mean like...
I thought it was a girl who sent it. Oh, so a guy can screenshot.
Yeah.
A picture of her.
Yeah.
Where her armpit's showing.
Yeah.
I wonder if the person likes, like, your arm up and, like, the pit, or if, like, your arm down. Because they want to, like, stick your dick in there. It's interesting. Multitudes.
The person that sent its default is a girl with her arm up. I know that I know in my heart that the person who sent this is not a girl. But, like, the main picture is the arm is up. So it seems like they like...
exposed. I wonder if they
But it's just so funny because they think that we can't see... Because they're not asking for a picture of our tits or our ass. It's somehow, like, because it's a technically non-sexual part of our body that we're going to be okay with it.
Just a real zoomed-in picture of your armpit.
Just a real casual, hey, can I get some armpit photos?
It's like, that would require me taking a picture of my armpit, and then I'd be... For me, it wouldn't be the sending the armpit picture. Like, I would do that, just as a solid for this person. But then I don't want to open it up to, like, a conversation between the two of us,
I just don't want to give them any masturbatory, whatever, for free. I'm like, send me money, then I'll send you armpit photos.
Yeah, I just wouldn't feel precious about my armpit. Or you could just send someone else's armpit and then be like, Venmo me.
Yeah. Google armpits.
That's what I would. She should do that.
Yeah.
My Venmo is armpit Sally.
Armpit Sally. Insatiable armpit Sally.
Yeah.
Thanks for sending in that submission. It is a good one. It's a strange one.
Yeah. We like it. So, do we have any new reviews?
Yes, we do. We have an awesome new review from Panty Lion.
Panty Lion?
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it. The subject says, love it. You girls keep me young. I love listening to you two ladies talk about sex and have silly fun together. I like to listen with my headphones on in the office so no one knows the naughty stuff going on in my head. Hee hee, don't report me to HR. You are very naughty, Panty Lion.
We love it. Sounds like our type of girl or guy.
Yeah.
A woman or man after her own heart. Well, thank you. Always leave us reviews, rate, download, and subscribe. You
can find us on most streaming platforms for podcasts, but especially if you have iTunes, please rate and review because it helps.
Yeah, but we'll also check like YouTube and Spotify and whatever. We'll try. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.
Get freaky.
Get freaky with it. Na 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 na. It's a remix called Getting Freaky with It.
Oh.
And I just made